go. There's the Jakarta International Velodrome from above. It's not thunderstorming on this evening.
Well, it has been very wet. It is the wet season here in Indonesia. Temperatures in the high 20s, 28, 27, 29 around Celsius, but 80 to 90% humidity inside the velodrome. So it is a little bit sticky in here, but certainly nice and warm. On to the men's Omnium elimination race coming up next. This is the standings after the first two disciplines. The tempo was the last one we saw, and of course before that was the scratch race. And leading the way very comfortably at the moment, Lindsay de Velde from Belgium. Let's see what he can do now in the elimination. We saw the individual elimination races last night for both the men and the women. And now they get to do it again in the Omnium series as the third discipline in the four-discipline competition that's known as the Omnium. The points race will be the next one up for them. Mathias Guillemette from Canada, just getting himself up onto the fence.
So the elimination, we saw a bit of this on the first night. So it was a standalone event on Friday. So we had men's and women's races. They were won by Aya Hashimoto, who's actually in this race now, and Ali Walston from New Zealand. So this race is all about not being last across the line. So every 2 laps, they'll ring a bell, and it means the next lap, whoever is last across the line will be eliminated. So this is where it gets really exciting because everybody is fighting for gaps that aren't there. You might see people taking risks, people trying to squeeze up on the duck board, which is the blue inner line. There are definitely rules in place, so you can't actually increase your position if you are on the duck board. So yeah, it's all about whether you want to ride from the back, whether you want to sit in the aerodynamics and pip people on the line, or whether you prefer to ride from the front, take the wind and be out of the danger, or do you like to do a combination of the two? So it's always nice to have an option to be able to move out and around, but that's where you will see the peloton constantly flowing.
Final words from Coach Kenny de Kertler, recently retired from the professional ranks of cycling, to his man, Lindsay de Velde. Second place overall, Sebastian Mora from Spain. He's down at the bottom of the track. So there's the leader from Belgium. Here's third place, Campbell Stewart, the former world Omnium champion, silver medalist at the Olympic Games in this discipline at the Tokyo Olympic Games. And then down on the bottom of the track beside, underneath him, is Will Tidwell from Great Britain, sitting in fourth place. Ollie Wood is in fifth place. He's just third up and on the fence. Big swing onto the handrail there for Ollie Wood to get himself up and going in the team of Great Britain colours. And we have an issue right from the start. You can see Mora not pedalling his bike, meaning he has broken his chain. So snap the chain off the start line. So you can hear the sound of the gun just neutralising the race while they tend to Sebastian Mora. Now, no brakes on these bikes as well. So if you break a chain, then there is no way to stop. You must grab a handler and have them come out to get you. It's quite an unnerving feeling, rolling around the track with a broken chain with no way to stop your bike.
Yeah, you can put your feet down and skid and get rid of all your cleats.
Well, there he is on the inside, so they were able to grab him as he came around, and quickly you can see the Spanish colours of the team staff frantically running around the infield to find that spare bike for him.
Yeah, it looks like they've got one there. Oh, yeah. Oh, and they want to put the chain on. Will he jump on the spare bike or will they fix the chain? This can be a bit frustrating because the elimination is such an intense start. Everybody's sprinting off the start. Everyone's heart's pumping.
Well, you can see that there is a difference between his race bike and the spare bike. So it's not an identical replacement for him. There's your chain, sir. So they may try and take the time. Yep. If the officials allow it, they may take the time to actually replace that chain. The spare bike that they've brought up might not actually be his spare bike. It's just a bike that might be a similar size. Otherwise, they would have just jumped on it. If it was like for like, I think they would have just jumped on that spare. That's not the case. So Wayne Pomaro just pulling the riders up. They'll do a restart and allow Sebastian Mora, who is sitting in second place overall, to get that bike sorted.
Yeah, well, it's a good thing that didn't happen out in the race. It's much better to happen right at the start.
Absolutely, yes. If it happened during the race, then you could almost be guaranteed it would have caused a crash. That's not the case, so that's fantastic.
So riders lining up again. Time to relax a little bit.
Change of skin suit there for Philip Heinen from the Netherlands, the man that crashed in the tempo race. He was the winner of that particular discipline. Hello, Mathias. He sits in 8th position in the overall standings, Mathias, from Portugal.
Campbell Stewart.
And rides for the Jayco Alula professional team on the road.
Ah, there we go. Time for some fans. Ollie Wood looking very relaxed there.
Obliging the selfie.
It's a pretty cool thing about this sport, getting up close and personal with the athletes.
Oh, and it's very different from watching it on television to being at a velodrome and seeing just how fast these riders go. It really is spectacular. If you get the opportunity, if you haven't been to track cycling before, if there's a Nations Cup or National Championships or World Championships, Olympics, etc., make sure you get to a velodrome because it is such an incredible experience for the fans.
Yeah, if you go for a walk around that track up at this bend, this track is up to 42 degrees. So if you put your arm at 42 degrees and think about riders riding around on an angle like that, it's actually pretty steep. So yeah, it's not until you actually get out and ride around it that you realise, yeah, it's quite a strange sport, really.
Daniel Christa in the blue colours, and it looks like we're all set to go. Mora is on the start line, and we're underway once more. So change of chains. Fixed things up there for the rider in second place in the overall standing, Sebastian Mora from Spain. And no issues this time around. Hopefully it hasn't damaged his confidence in the equipment in any way.
Nah, I'm sure he's straight back in. Trust those mechanics. They know what they're doing. Been around a while, and there's no time for that because you're too busy looking at the wheel in front of you. So as you see, it's on from the gun.
Well, fight for position, and we've seen an Omnium eliminations in the past. Riders that think they're going to be in contention for the overall standings can get caught out and eliminated early. So we've had the bell for the first elimination lap, and we look towards the back of the peloton now, and we can actually see Ollie Wood from Great Britain right down underneath on the inside. That's spot. Not where you want to be. And across the top, it was right down the bottom there. I'll wait for confirmation.
Rotem Tene. Oh, that was close between those two.
We're focusing on Tene, but it was Ollie Wood.
Oh.
It was Ollie Wood. So he was sitting in 5th place in the overall standings. That's the danger of being underneath. You get a good slipstream down there, but you can get eliminated early. So that's a surprise to see Ollie Wood go out so early. Philip Heinen now, winner of the tempo race. How much did the crash hurt him? Because he doesn't look like he's in good shape as he comes to the elimination lap.
Oh, was that Campbell Stewart from New Zealand? It was close between him and Rotem. Oh no, it's Malaysia.
Malaysia.
Black skin suit. Oh, that would have upset, and that would have been another major upset.
Heart skipped a beat for anyone from New Zealand watching, thinking it may have been Campbell Stewart, but it wasn't. Malaysian rider is the second one to be eliminated.
So Mexico's working hard to get around. We've got Rotem Tene, who's survived another. Oh, yep, there he is.
Tene it is that goes this time.
Yep, it was close the last few rounds.
Pina from Mexico did enough around the outside, but when you have to ride so high, so there's Tene just coming out. Guillemette from Canada fighting to get himself back in, but the Mexican rider Pina, you can see now struggling at the back. He put in such a big effort riding 6-7 wide around the outside that's now starting to cost him this time as they come through around for another elimination lap. Once again, Pene having to ride so high on the velodrome and not going to be in the race much longer. So there he goes. The Mexican rider is the next to go.
I would say Aya Hashimoto, he's on the inside at the bottom. I think it's time that he needs to move. There he is at the bottom. We'll get the bell this lap, so no one's out this lap, but next lap they will. So I think he'll realise and move on up. Oh, no. He's had enough.
Hashimoto may
I thought
have...
that was an elimination.
I think he thought he was being disqualified for riding on the blue band. They let it go last time. Doesn't matter now. He's made an easy decision for the judges. So Hashimoto, the winner of the gold medal in the elimination last night, is now out of the elimination within the Omnium. Just a bit of confusion there for Aya. That's really disappointing for him.
Yeah, it's a shame when you finish a race with energy left. It's not how you want to go.
Davide Boscaro now from Italy, fighting to stay in the race. He should be okay. We'll look down to the bottom. And Colby Langer is in a dangerous position for the United States. And also, more dangerous though...
That was Kluger.
It was Roger Kluger. Wait for confirmation. Because while we focus on who's the last rider across the line, there could be an infringement down the bottom. But it was indeed Roger Kluger that's eliminated.
Wow.
Boscaro, once again, the Italian. Body language not indicating that he's feeling as good as he'd like to be. Graham Frisley from Australia now in a bit of trouble.
Yep.
Just trying to keep himself in. It might have been Frisley, I think. You can see how tight it is when they're trying to push themselves through gaps that do not exist.
It's between him and Tim Waffler that were close, I reckon.
Yeah, Frisley it was. They've given it to Frisley. There you go, the final wheel of the zip disc wheel going across the line. So there's Graham Frisley from Australia out.
I reckon Langer's in a rough position. He's on the inside at the bottom.
Boscaro as well. Davide Boscaro.
Yeah, he might be able... Oh, no, don't...
He's looking for a gap that's not going to exist when they get to the line. And it's Boscaro the next to go.
That's it. He chose the inside, but the inside hasn't been working for many people at the moment. I think this, because of the long straight, a lot of riders have time to move on past. So if you've got nowhere to go, then you're at the disadvantage.
Well, these elimination laps, they come thick and fast every two. You've got to fight for position to not be eliminated. Then straight away, you're into it again. Mathias from Portugal being told by his coaching staff, get up around the outside. He's doing exactly that. So Mathias will get himself out of the danger zone. But that puts the overall leader very close to being eliminated. I think it was Thibault from Switzerland. It was.
Yeah, that was close. Very, very close.
Valere Thibault from Switzerland, the next to go. But that was not very good from Lindsay de Vilde. He needs to get himself out if he wants to keep himself in this bike race.
Yeah, he's moving up. He's moving up around the outside.
Philip Hagen now from the Netherlands.
Yeah.
Last rider across the line. He's going to keep himself in, so that's not too bad. Heinen stays in. Christa is the next to go.
Number 51.
Daniel Christa.
As we're dwindling down now, bunch is a lot more easy to navigate, but the legs will be tired now.
Well, right down on the inside, we see the Spanish colours of Sebastian Mora, second in overall standings. He has nowhere to move. If the riders come around the outside now, Mora's going to be in a lot of trouble. He might just hold on. That was really close.
Between him and Portugal.
Mora it is. They have given it to Mora. So the second place in the overall standings has been eliminated. That's a disaster for the Spaniard. Yep, there it is. A couple of centimetres. That's all it takes. Well, he'll be disappointed with himself for that one. That's going to be tough to come back from in the points race still to come, knowing that Lindsay de Vilde still in the hunt here for maximum points. And down the bottom, Tim Waffler. It was from Germany. Austria, sorry, yes. Speaks German, I'm sure, though, being Austrian.
I am very sure. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 left. 10 riders left.
The Österreicher out of the race. Tim Waffler, the next elimination.
With Thomas Boudin at the back. He's given a bit of space, but as soon as they start to single out and add a bit of gaps, then it's a lot harder for the ones at the back to keep moving forward. So when it's all bunched up, you can afford to be at the back, but yeah, this is a lot of work. Ooh, I reckon he's out. That was the 2014 Omnium World Champion, so he'll be disappointed with that. He's won a lot of eliminations, so yeah, that was a tough one.
Well, you see how wide he was, right up at the fence coming down the finishing straight, so having to cover so much extra ground as well. Campbell Stewart in a dangerous position now for New Zealand on the inside.
Yep.
Right up in the overall standings, sitting in third place. The black colours at the back of the bunch. Matthias trying to box him in. So the rider from Portugal can see the push and shove.
No.
Campbell Stewart desperate to get himself out.
Oh!
He was able to do it.
That was Philip Hyman.
So Philip Hyman, the one next to go.
So that's the thing. You think you're okay, and then the other people realise how desperate a situation they're in, and they make a move. So it's just constantly changing.
Well, a big move from Campbell Stewart because he was in the danger zone and had to use his physical force to push his way out from Matthias from Portugal, open up the gap.
He's got a bit of work to do.
De Wilde trying to come around Colby. Colby Lang from the USA. He'll do it successfully. So it's Colby that goes out this time. And De Wilde playing with fire at the back of the group.
I think has come from skiing. His dad's the national ski coach, or was.
Well, for a skier, he's ridden very well indeed here. De Wilde around the outside. He can really gain some big points over the previous second place overall, Sebastian Mora. Campbell Stewart still there, though. So De Wilde coming up over the top now. Keep himself in the race. It doesn't matter. At the back of the group, though.
Canada, I reckon.
Guillemette it is at the bottom. The Canadian. Nowhere to go. Boxed in underneath.
So Belgium, Britain, Portugal, New Zealand, Denmark.
And here's a challenge, though, because Guillemette has not been given out, so he's continued on, and they actually said it was Matthias. So they've taken Matthias out. He had obviously infringed in some way. So the Portuguese rider is out of the race. Guillemette hangs on for just one more lap, out this time.
And this is the problem. When you think you're out, you might relax, and then by the time it's time to switch back on, then sometimes it's game over already. So it's just a super messy type of race. But the riders do have a box on their handlebars which flashes when you're out, and that's why a lot of them know when they're out.
5 riders left now, next elimination lap. And once again, the Belgian, he's gone to the front, he's gone to the back, he's gone to the front again, and now caught underneath. This is danger zone for the overall race leader, Lindsay de Velde. Hansen leads them across the line, but it's the Belgian that is not going to get maximum points from the elimination race. Not too bad for him, though, because he scored so well in the first 2 disciplines. Round of applause that was given by his coach, Kenny de Kettler. 4 more riders now.
So Vincent Hopperzak, he's a Dutch rider in the beat skin suit. So one of the trade teams to allow more riders from countries to participate.
He's in the danger zone, Nettie. Hopperzak it is that's going to be not putting up too much of a fight. So he's the next one to go, and that leaves 3. Campbell Stewart, William Tidball, and Tobias Hansen from Denmark. There's the Dane, just popping up around the outside. So Tidball hasn't been seen that much in this race. So he's been riding really well. Great tactical riding from Tidball. Now Stewart trying to box Tidball in. And look at this for a race down the back straight. So Hansen doesn't have to go full gas here because they have a rider in the pocket, and that's Tidball. Campbell Stewart riding incredibly smart to tactically outmaneuver the British rider. Will Tidball is out.
At that moment, he has to either reverse and go around the outside, but that's really hard to do on those gears and at that point in that race. So that's either that or take a squeeze for the gap, but he didn't, and he's given it to Tobias Hansen versus Campbell Stewart. Campbell Stewart, the 2019 Omnium World Champion. Tobias Hansen, 20 years of age. It's a drag race. Campbell Stewart has the inside line. He's looking over his shoulder. He's got this all under control.
Down the back straight. He looks in absolute control here, Campbell Stewart. The former world champion just easing away down the front straight. So there's the maximum points win for getting the elimination victory for Campbell Stewart. And that's going to be very handy now when we see the overall standings, knowing that Lindsay de Velde was eliminated a few laps earlier. So great riding there from Campbell Stewart. And I loved how he manoeuvred Tidball into a position to tactically put him out of the race. Good ride also there by Tobias Hansen from Denmark to finish second.
Yeah, it takes a lot of confidence to do a move like that. When your natural instinct is to just go and look after yourself, but he saw the moment and he just blocked him in there, was able to relax and it worked. As you can see, it kept his legs fresh. Now he's a sprint against Tobias Hansen.
Well, Hansen also would have recognised what Stewart was doing in that previous elimination and realised that they had a rider that was boxed in, so they were both sort of in control, in cahoots a little bit, working together to then push Tidball out and get eliminated. So great riding from all of these riders. And Campbell Stewart, the former world champ, the silver medalist at the Olympic Games in the Omnium in Tokyo, puts himself in the box seat to go for the victory here in the Nations Cup in Jakarta. That was great racing.
It was awesome. We're about to see the standings.
He's holding on at the top. So Tavilda from Belgium, Campbell Stewart moving up into second position with the ride from Mora, pushing himself down a little bit. Tidball still, though, up in third place by him. So that's a good ride. And you can see further down the standings.
That cost Oliver Wood down into 11th from 4th.
Yeah, that was an unfortunate one for him. And we said at the start, didn't we?